side. Should be a cracking night of cup action here on the banks of the Medway as Gillingham host Bristol City. Good run from Cody McDonald, he's in here and he gives Gillingham an early lead. Smith gets the touch and Bristol City level it up. Smith, oh, he's done so well to reach that. Smith, oh, that's cheeky. Gillingham right back into this one. And that might just be the pick of the bunch. Matt Smith gets his fourth of the night.
Bristol City arrive with a 2-goal advantage and are boosted by the return of first leg hero Matt Smith, who rejoined the club on loan from Fulham yesterday. Gillingham know they must win convincingly tonight to have any chance of booking their place in the final at Wembley. After back-to-back league wins, they'll be confident of turning around the first leg deficit. This Johnstones Paint Trophy Southern Area final second leg sees Gillingham take on two-time winners Bristol City, live this evening from Ashton Gate. So we are just one step away from Wembley, and Bristol City may have the upper hand in this tie, but as we've seen this week, cup upsets can happen. With me to find out if it's Bristol City or Gillingham booking their place in the final is the Walsall manager Dean Smith, who on Tuesday night booked their place in the Johnstones Paint Trophy final, the first time that Walsall will play at Wembley in the club's 127-year history. Dean, huge congratulations to you on that victory on Tuesday, or the winning the tie. Are the celebrations still ongoing in Walsall?
No, we've got a game against Gillingham on Sunday now, so I'm sure they're going on within the town, but certainly the players are getting ready, focused for the league now.
And how delighted is everybody in reaching Wembley?
Oh, it's amazing, you know, for a 127-year history to have not been to Wembley at all was, you know, a big thing to overcome, and, you know, seeing directors and staff, you know, brought to tears by getting there was fantastic.
Like yourselves, Bristol City come into this tie with a 2-goal lead. How do they approach this game, bearing in mind they have that advantage already?
Well, we approached it that it's just another game. You know, we start from 0-0, but have that in the back of your mind that you're 2 goals ahead. You know, even if you lose a goal, they've still got to score another one to stop you progressing. And that was very much our thought process throughout it. We never sat back. We tried to go at Preston, and we were rewarded in the end.
Matt Smith, perhaps, was so significant in that first tie, having scored all those 4 goals for Bristol City. What threat does he pose in general?
He's a big threat in the box. They get a lot of balls into him. We saw it on Sunday in the cup game there. He's took over really well from Wilbraham, who was injured, and he's coming in and scored goals straight away, and he's going to be a threat again tonight.
And how are they going to deal with him then?
Well, they have to try and stop it at source. If not, then you know that he's going to win balls aerially because he's that good in the air. So it's important that if he's heading it, they've got to be heading it. He's got to be heading it, you know, further from goal, and then you can defend the second balls.
This season, of course, Bristol City are challenging now on 2 fronts in this competition as well as League One. How well set up are they, do you think, when the fact that they have a good young squad, they've got an experienced manager, and of course they're redeveloping Ashton Gate as well? They
are. I mean, it's a big club. It's a big club in League One, and you know, the fans' expectations are higher than League One, and you know, I fully expect them to get out of the league this season. You know, they've got a really good squad of players, and to bring people in like Matt Smith, you know, with Wilbraham out, is very important for them.
Yeah, we can see the redevelopment work going on here at Ashton Gate. But ahead of this tie, let's get the thoughts of the Bristol City manager, Steve Cottrell. He's been speaking to David Craig.
Steve, you have the 2-goal advantage. What's the approach tonight?
Pretty much like the first leg, you know, we'll go for it. We won't be sitting back on anything. That's too dangerous to do that. You know, if we get penned back at any time in the game, then fair play to Gillingham, if you know what I mean. But that's not our intentions anyway.
Matt Smith starts for you tonight. He can't play for you in the final, but what part can he play in making sure you get to that final?
Well, first and foremost, we're not in the final. We need to make that clear. We won't be taking anything for granted. If we get there, then that would be a sad day for Matt. But you know, we've already spoken to Fulham on that, and because it's a Sunday, if that happens, we would like him to come down and spend the day with us, if possible.
What threat did Gillingham pose this evening?
Well, like every other League One club that comes here, you know, they raised their game. They got a good pitch to play on out there tonight. Probably from their camp, they've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. So we've just got to make sure that we're thoroughly professional in our performance tonight.
Nothing to lose, he says, about Gillingham. Do they come into this with no pressure?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, nobody really expects them to go through from here, but they've got in Cody MacDonald a real good goal scorer at this level, and they can give it a right good go tonight, and I'd fully expect them to.
So how crucial is it for them to score first and perhaps score early?
Yeah, it would give them bags of confidence, because anybody who comes to Ashton Gate this season knows that they're a force here. But to get an early goal would certainly give them a lot of confidence, and may, you know, a bit of nerves from Bristol City then as well.
It's been an up and down season for Gillingham, currently managerless at the moment following the departure of Peter Taylor, but they come into this having won their last two. Is that something that the management team should focus on and give belief to their players?
Yeah, I think just the results will give them that belief. They beat Coventry and then Gillingham. That was Gillingham, Oldham on Saturday, so it's give them a big boost, and you know, we're playing them on Sunday as well, so hopefully their confidence can get dented.
Good little
tonight.
scouting mission for you tonight, then.
It was always going to be a scouting mission for us, yes, so we was looking forward to coming down anyway.
OK, so Bristol City, 90 minutes away from reaching Wembley, but can Gillingham upset the odds? Kick-off is coming for you next.
But tonight, we're all believers, and I feel alright with all of my heart. Oh, tonight, we're all believers.
We're live at Ashton Gate this evening as Bristol City take on Gillingham for a place at Wembley in this Johnstones Paint Trophy Southern Area Final second leg. And with the teams gathering in the tunnel, we can hear from Gillingham's Steve Lovell, who's been speaking to David Craig.
Steve, you're one of a four-man management team at this moment in time. How does that pan out when it comes to team selection for tonight's game?
We're all on the same wavelength, obviously, and we discuss. We see everything that's going on in training and in the games, so it's a healthy debate. At the end of the day, we pick a team that is on a game-to-game basis that we think is going to go out and get a result.
How do you strike the balance tonight between getting the first goal and making sure you don't concede another goal?
Well, it's very difficult, obviously. Coming down here with 2 goals behind, it's so easy to go gun-ho and find yourself open at the back. So we've got a strategy that we're going to stick to, and hopefully the boys will go out and with what we've worked on in the last week, will be adhered to, and we'll be able to put on a good performance tonight.
What will be the last words of advice you and your other assistants will give your players before you go out this evening?
Well, there's no bigger incentive, is there, of getting to Wembley at the end of this. They've worked hard for the last month they've been with us, and they've shown promise. And if they go out and roll their sleeves up and have a go and go at them and give it everything, that's all we can ask.
Wish you well.
Thank you very much.
So a huge prize at stake in this one, with a final at Wembley to come. What we'll find out, let's find out with your what will happen, I should say. Let's find out with your commentators, David Prutton, Gary Weaver.
Thank you, Natalie. Let's take a check on the teams then. And can this Bristol City 11 see the job through and take this club to Wembley? Steve Cotterill changes his team in this tournament but doesn't weaken it. He likes to change the wing-backs because they run the hard yards. So James Tavernier, a Wembley winner in the playoffs with Rotherham in May, comes in, as does former Manchester City youngster Greg Cunningham. Matt Smith seems to have a personal vendetta against Gillingham, the big burly striker who shot to fame by knocking Liverpool out of the FA Cup during his Oldham days, scored all 4 in the first leg. Arsene Wenger was a big fan of J. Emmanuel Thomas when he was a youngster at Arsenal. If he gets a pocket of space tonight, he will do Gillingham plenty of damage here. Gillingham are without their man of the moment, John Marquis, whose 3 goals in 2 games has inspired 2 victories. He's cup-tied, having played against Bristol City for Cheltenham in October. Cody MacDonald is the lone striker. He's coming good at this time of year again. 43 of his 59 goals for Gillingham have been scored in the second half of campaigns. Bradley Dack has been compared to a young Frank Lampard by Andy Hessenthaler. He volleyed the winner against Oldham on Saturday and will look to support Cody MacDonald. There's a start for Jermaine McGlashan, who's been used mainly as an impact player, but if he's on his game, his pace and trickery could cause Bristol City problems. Bristolian Joel Bryan and a Wembley winner Wade Elliott are on Bristol City's bench. Luke Norris is amongst Gillingham's backup. He usually scores in away games. So Matt Smith, 6'5", he causes real problems, but it's not just about his aerial threat, David.
Absolutely not, no. And Steve Cotterill's made a big thing of getting Matt Smith in, getting him to play to feet, working on his hold-up play and his link-up play for his teammates, not just using that obvious size and presence that he's got, but adding an all-round element to his game, and he's really thrived on it.
Well, Bradley Dack has come through the youth system at Gillingham. He is one hot prospect, and he has a key role tonight.
Huge. I know that Andy Hesselthal's a big fan of his, and that they've almost changed his shape at times to accommodate the kind of attacking intent and skills that he's got. He's got a big role tonight, getting forward with Cody McDonald to supplement this attack for Gillingham to get back into this tie.
Well, something special is happening here. The red half of this big football city is on the march again. After some dark, desperate days comes possibly a night to remember for Steve Cotterill and co. These players stand at the gateway of opportunity. A maybe once-in-a-lifetime chance to walk out of Wembley and leave their footprint on football's most famous pitch. No matter what happens in their careers, that will never be taken away from them. Bristol City can see Wembley in front of them. Wembley Way is waiting for them, but Gillingham haven't come here just to watch Bristol City party tonight. They are hoping for one moment, one goal, which will change everything.
Absolutely, it's definitely not insurmountable, but the signs are ominous going into this at kick-off. All Gillingham have got to do is believe, be patient, not be too patient, don't leave it too late, but make sure they stay in the game for as long as possible.
Gillingham to get the ball rolling here. Walsall have only ever seen Wembley on television, but they will be making history in March. Their badge is already being painted onto the Wembley wall. Which team, which town, which city's people will be there with them? The odds are in favour of Bristol City with this 4-2 advantage. But as we've seen in the last week or so, football doesn't do logic.
Absolutely not, and having Steve Cotterill in charge, he's definitely not going to allow his players to be complacent, to take anything too steady. As he said pre-match, he's going to be going for it, as his team has done all season.
There's Max Amer, who's on loan at Gillingham from Queen's Park Rangers. That's Pritchard. Now Martin. Well, two's company, three's a crowd, four is a Gillingham managerial team. Steve Lovell will be shouting the instructions out. Peter Taylor was sacked on New Year's Eve after losing to Bristol City in the league. Andy Hessenthaler, Steve Lovell, Darren Herr and Mark Patterson are the four in charge for now, all with equal power.
The gang of four, as Paul Scally calls them.
Dack catching J. Emmanuel Thomas. The referee tonight is Graham Scott. Bristol City have been almost untouchable this season. 2015 could be some year for this football club. A ticket to the championship and a ticket to Wembley is in their hands.
I think it's a great testament to the way Steve Cotterill's approached every tournament and kind of cut the bin in this season. They've gone at it with full strength, given it as much respect as it deserves, and it feeds into the league form, to the momentum that a team and a club can build when things are going well.
James Tavernier standing by to take this throw in. A man who knows all about winning at Wembley. Did it in the playoffs with Rotherham. He's actually left it now to J. Emmanuel Thomas. Matt Smith is standing by the Gillingham near post. And Emmanuel Thomas has gone looking for Flint. And Smith with the header, which was pushed away by Stuart Nelson, the first big chance of the game.
There's some size in that Bristol City box when it gets thrown in. It's Flint first flicking it on, and Smith's movement as he pulls away from the defender just to try and get the ball into the bottom corner. Good movement and a great flick from Flint.
So much aerial threat. Freeman with that corner. Nelson gets to it. Gillingham on the back foot here, with a chance possibly to launch a counter-attack. There's Freeman. Once off Gillingham. Gillingham did score first in the first leg earlier this month. All 6 goals that night were excellent. A couple for Cody McDonald for Gillingham, 4 for Matt Smith. Incredible. Here's Cunningham. Smith firing over the top. Gillingham are looking for an offside flag.
Early signs there that Smith's in the mood again. As he gets put back into the box here, it's a ragged line from Gillingham coming out. Definitely not an offside. When you come out there, you want to be coming out as a solid 4. But again, it's the flick from Flint that gets it onto Smith. Something that Gillingham really got to be wary of, that immense aerial threat that they've got, Bristol City, going forward.
One of his 9 goals for Bristol City, 6 have been scored against Gillingham by Matt Smith.
You've got to wonder in the build-up to a game whether that preys on a management staff's mind or a player's mind, knowing that they're coming against someone who's such a rich vein of form against them.
That's McGlashan. Dak and Cody McDonald in the middle here. Aimed towards Dak, who was tackled by Flint.
Good covering in the end by Flint, but as I said about Dak getting forward, he gets into a good position. Just a sizable unit to get the ball around Aidan Flint here. He makes the position it well.
He's such a towering presence in both boxes, Aidan Flint. Max Amer trying to make his presence felt in the penalty area. It's gone beyond him and Egan. As you can see, this stadium undergoing redevelopment. Building site there behind the goal. The man in the luminous jacket, the oldest ball boy I've seen, I think.
He's not filming it on his phone, is he?
There's J. Emmanuel Thomas. This is where he's dangerous, and he's picked out Freeman. This could be trouble now for Gillingham. And Freeman's ball wasn't the best, just forced Tavernier wide. And a promising position comes to nothing for Bristol City.
Absolutely, ran into a dead end there. It's a great initial turnover of Emmanuel Thomas, and Freeman's on his way. It's just the timing and the weight of his pass. Tavernier holds his ground really well to stay onside, but again, the pass is lacking in quality. He wants it to take a touch to get the shot off, whereas Freeman just delays it too long, and in the end, the move breaks down.
There's Gavin Hoyt. We're looking for McGlashan.
Kind of space the Hoyt's picked up there. You wonder with these 2 wing-backs for Bristol, if they are bombing on, the kind of gaps that they leave behind. Space is there for the likes of Hoyt and Martin to get into.
J. Emmanuel Thomas, who had to be patient at the start of this season. He's tried to pick out Matt Smith. Recovery challenge was made, and made well, by John Egan. This now is Cunningham, and that's easy for Nelson. But Bristol City showing signs of threat here. That's McGlashan. Nicely done by Pritchard.
It's a good initial build at work for Pritchard, but that final ball, it's a nice little nutmeg, and then after that it's the final touch of the ball. It's the last bit of quality that you need to make sure is spot on.
Well, he's a player who ended up taking his career to the Arctic Circle, playing for Tromsø in Norway. They're not getting a chance at Fulham. Played in Europa League against Tottenham last season.
I'm sure a cold night in Bristol's absolutely no trouble to him at all.
Well, he says in his first week, a herd of reindeer blocked his route into training. in the Arctic Circle. Not in Bristol.
Categorically say I'd never use that as a reason for being late for training.
This is J. Emmanuel Thomas. Gillingham need to get tight to this man because he can damage them.
Absolutely, when he's in the mood, he can really pick out a pass. You can see it's in a player's head. It takes a touch, and he knows that Smith's going to be that presence in the box. It's nice to play into feet and to bring people into it, but if he's there, try and stick the ball on his head.
Ailing with our throw. It's Emmanuel Thomas. Now Smith. There's Tavernier. The team talk in that Gillingham dressing room before the game was based around one message: stay in the game. These players have been told to not go chasing the 2 goals from the off here. Wembley is a long way off, but they can still just about see it. If Bristol City score first, then it may well disappear from view for good.
Absolutely, both sets of coaching staffs will be looking at the fine lines in the game of when to go for it, perhaps when to be a bit more patient. And as Steve Cotterill said, his team's not a team to sit back and invite pressure. They're going to attack you whether they're home or away. And Gillingham obviously have got to get back in the game as soon as possible, but not leave themselves exposed.
The management team of Gillingham have also mentioned the names of Bradford City, Cambridge, Sheffield United as well, who almost pulled off the seemingly impossible last night. Just to remind the players that nothing in football is a foregone conclusion.
Absolutely not. And playing against Andy Hessenthaler when he was a Gillingham player, he had that tenacity, that never say die kind of attitude to the way he went about his game. He'll be instilling that in his players.
And it's Jake Hessenthaler who leaves it to Martin to whip in that free kick. Dealt with by Flint. J. Emmanuel Thomas, nicely done to find Freeman. This is Cunningham. Freeman again. J. Emmanuel Thomas. Lovely skill from J. Emmanuel Thomas. This is Freeman. That's Tavernier. But we've just seen a glimpse of what J. Emmanuel Thomas is all about. Wonderful skill.
He's certainly got the ability, it's just the application on a longer-term basis. He's found a real kind of composure and a real confidence in and a consistency to his game.
Just bounced beyond him that time. But you can see why Arsene Wenger rated him really highly when he was a youngster at Arsenal. Didn't quite happen for him there. And as I mentioned, he had to be really patient this season, but because of moments like this, he's back in this team.
Here's the delightful piece of skill. Again, it's the final ball and trying to pick out his strike partner, but it's wonderful skill to engineer the move for himself. And again, what goes hand in hand with that skill is the need to apply it on as many occasions as possible, and the consistency, and that's what gets your appearances and gets your moves, and that's what gets you in a place in a team.
Freeman. Emmanuel Thomas looking for Freeman again. Now it's Hessenthaler. Williams trying to keep McGlashan away from the Bristol City penalty area. McGlashan's mere presence at Endeavour. Well, this corner kick for Gillingham. John Egan has been a threat from set pieces this season. He's in the box alongside Max Amer. Fight in by Loft, lovely ball as well. Fielding dealt with it for Bristol City, and now the break is on. There's Corey Smith. Options right and left. And just a little bit too much on it. Tavernier force wide, and Gillingham will deal with it.
Again, it's that final ball, just where Tavernier needs it, in front of him so he can hit it first time and get into a good area. It's just beyond him.
It's Cody McDonald, out-jumped by Aidan Flint. Williams. Smith the target, he wins the knockdown. Gillingham was hesitant at the back.
It's wonderful movement there from Tavernier, coming in off his perch, out on that right wing-back roll. It's a great diagonal ball from Williams, and as Smith pulls off, just allows the space in behind for Tavernier, pulls apart the Gillingham defence. Just slightly ahead of him. Goalkeeper does well to get out as quickly as possible, Stuart Nelson, to smother the danger.
Well, Gillingham did look vulnerable at the back at the weekend against Oldham. They raced into a 2-goal lead, but within minutes, Oldham were back level. Gillingham eventually scored the winner through Bradley Dack. They weren't comfortable as a back four.
I think it's something that the management staff of Gillingham have identified. They can score goals. It's just a case of not having the need to overly outscore the opposition when they're playing. If they can get the goals but keep the back door shut, then they've got half a chance of getting themselves up the league.
Yeah, there's definitely goals in this team. This is Martin. Now it's Hessenthaler, son of one of the caretaker managers, Andy. Now Egan motoring forward. He's very good on the ball, John Egan. This is Loft, losing possession to Freeman. Smith and Emmanuel Thomas to his right. Emmanuel Thomas wants it now. Here is Emmanuel Thomas. He was matched drive by stride by Max Aymer.
Great covering in the end by Aymer. Again, another great quick break from Bristol City. This time the final ball's perfect. And Freeman into Emmanuel Thomas's feet and just takes the touch, which allows the contact with Aymer to get the block in.
It's Freeman with the corner. It was almost a free header for Ayling. Kept alive here by Aidan Flint. And Smith goes down inside the box.
Can we take this back and have a little look? Yeah, it's Ayling in the end that inadvertently blocks him for Gillingham.
Here's the threat. Freeman again to deliver. It's a thumping header which thumps back on the crossbar and then in by Matt Smith. The big bruiser of a striker leaves his calling card pinned to the Gillingham dressing room wall again. He won't be able to play at Wembley, but that could be his parting gift.
They must be absolutely sick of the sight of this man. It's a towering header to start with. Another great corner in. Is there beating two men to the ball, as quick as to react to the rebound. And it's a relatively simple, straightforward header for Matt Smith, who's just been fantastic. Get a slight sighter before where Ayling just undercooked it, but second corner in. Great finish from Matt Smith.
A vital goal for Bristol City. They extend their aggregate lead now. It's now 5-2. The scarves are waving at Ashton Gate. They can see Wembley.
You can tell the effects it's had on the crowd. There's been for the first 15 minutes, been quite quiet, quite respectful, just kind of seeing how the game pans out. But I think now this goal's gone in, you'll hear a lot more noise and maybe a lot more attacking verve from Bristol City, even more so than they've started with.
Seven goals in 4 games now for Matt Smith against Gillingham. It really is staggering. all 4 in the first leg. And the diving header, if you've seen it, wonderful in that first leg at the Priestfield Stadium. How he got that one in, I will never know, because it seemed to defy physics. A much more bread and butter header this time, but it's done the same job.
Absolutely, it's such a fruitful spell he's having here at Bristol, and I said earlier that you wonder how much management and staff do to compensate for playing against a man like Matt Smith, but he's got 2 men on him, but he still wins the header, then wins his own rebound and puts it in.
There's Tavernier.
Slip allows Tavernier in there. Dragged the shot, unfortunately. Surprised Smith's not got his arms in the air asking for a pullback or a cross, as these selfish strikers tend to do sometimes.
Speaks to a man of experience.
I was too far behind to create assists.
Well, Gillingham just have to keep their heads down here and keep going. It was always going to be a difficult task. Still possible, but they have plenty to do. It's Hoyt. Now it's Loft. This is Bradley Dack. Now it's Martin. On his right foot, but he is devastating on his left.
Look at the presence is there, but he's beaten 2 men to the first header, and it's the initial header, then the reaction to his own rebound that wins him the goal. He has been fantastic since he came in, and I know Steve Cottrell's made a big deal about not only using his height and his strength, but playing into feet and his all-round game. But when you've got such a threat like that at set pieces, you'd be daft not to use it, and they've used it there to full effect.
This is Freeman. Foul by Hessenthaler. Well, another chance for Bristol City to try and land this ball on the head of Matt Smith or Aidan Flint, who is quite capable in the air. Freeman with it. Again, it found its target.
It's a decent enough delivery from Freeman. He's got that with that left foot. Again, it's the aerial threat both with Flint and with Smith going forward. It's going to be quite a handful for Gillingham for the duration of the rest of the game to deal with it.
Well, that moment we saw from Matt Smith in the 18th minute was the moment that they wanted against West Ham here in the FA Cup on Sunday, the moment that wouldn't quite come for them. They were excellent in the first half here, and West Ham United won't forget Bristol City in a hurry.
Absolutely not. They're real good at counting themselves, and I think Steve Cottrell was asked how do you pick the lads up after that, but they've played so well that it was almost seen like a free hit. You go into there and you're a winner no matter what happens, and you take it into the next game, which they've started this game with a real intent, as they showed at the weekend.
Hessenthaler, Pritchard, there's Loft turning into Corey Smith. Now it's Matt Smith. This might come for Cunningham. Cunningham on Savage, pulls it back looking for J. Emmanuel Thomas. Gillingham just about managed to slam the door shut. Hoyt was in the way, and again Gillingham has survived, but great work there from Freeman to win it back for Bristol City.
Attacking intent, and I think Cunningham, just as the ball came across, I think he presumed that Stuart Nelson was going to come out and smother that. don't think Cunningham was Matt Smith's in, well, Corey Smith there, wonderful win back in the middle of the park, and as Matt Smith pulls his back across, Cunningham is not obviously the man he's looking for, but again, Stuart Nelson dithers a little bit, which allows him in, but it's a pull back to Emmanuel Thomas, which is a smidge behind him, which just lets the chance down.
Hamer winning that header. Emmanuel Thomas. Cunningham. Now Freeman. Hamer in the way again for Gillingham.
Freeman's finding some wonderful little pockets of space, playing just in front of Marlon Pack and Corey Smith, who will be sitting for Bristol. Steve Cross looking for him to protect the back three, but it allows someone like Luke Freeman to find those little pockets to supplement both Emmanuel Thomas and Matt Smith going forward.
Nicely done by Marlon Pack. J. Emmanuel Thomas. There's Smith. Thumped away by John Egan. He's been one of the success stories for Gillingham this season. It was tough on Peter Taylor to lose his job. It looked like they had steadied the ship, but Paul Scally made the big decision on New Year's Eve. They had a heated telephone discussion, and Taylor didn't agree with a few things that were said.
The general thought is that they were so close to stumbling across something that was going to give them a little bit more success in the league, and just unfortunately ran out of time.
Yeah, I spoke to Peter Taylor the other day, still disappointed, of course, but wants to get back into the game as a manager or a coach. Gillingham had 70 applicants for the vacant manager's job. Shefki Kuchi was at the Priestfield on Saturday. One of those that's been linked. Currently managing in Finland.
It's got to be one of the contenders just for that amazing swan dive he used to do. In a full suit on a touchline, that would be some sight.
That'll get you up the table. There's Hoyt. Now McGlashan, looking to try and use his pace. Looking to give Tavernier the slip.
It's great tracking back there from Tavernier. McGlashan's got the pace, but he expects a lot from his wing-back, Steve Cotterill, and James Tavernier's got all the way back to help his back three. Such an important position.
Emmanuel Thomas winning that header. There's Pritchard. It was a lovely pass for the ball. Now it's Dack. Hessenthaler. There's Bradley Dack again. Pritchard.
See the way Bristol have just settled back into a defensive shape. Emmanuel Thomas dropping into that midfield area just to make the numbers up, leaving Matt Smith up on his own.
Yeah, Steve Cotterill has spoken about his players managing games these days. Offside against McDonald, but about knowing when to go after teams and when to stay and stand your ground.
It requires a good level of communication throughout the team and an understanding, a competent understanding of what the manager wants. And to be honest, Steve Cotterill's going to be able to get his points across. He's a big believer in showing players what to do, because if he's showing them what to do and they still get it wrong, then they've got absolutely no excuses.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say Steve Cotterill always gets his point across.
think within that he's very fair. If things don't go according to plan and he's to blame, he'll hold his hands up and take responsibility for it. And it's that trust that he puts into his players that gets sent back to him, which kind of gets that collective feeling of a club going forward.
J. Emmanuel Thomas moving away from Hessenthaler, running into a wall of blue. At times he has got the skill to get himself out of a blind alley. He can see a way out.
He looks a little bit unlucky here because he'd overrun it and then manages to win it back, and I thought at the end he just managed to retrieve the situation. You can tell he's big rangy way that he goes into these defences and moves the ball well, both feet. He just slides in, manages to whip the ball back. Well within his right set, feel slightly hard done by.
Hessenthaler. There's Hoyt. Now it's Pritchard. This is Martin. Gillingham have been playing with a diamond system since the caretaker managers took charge, but they've dispensed with that tonight.
Yeah, I think they've definitely given Bristol City the respect that they do. They are a wonderfully offensive attacking unit. They do get forward very well, as has been evident, and very quickly, as has been very evident so far in this game. It's just you look at the situation now with an hour to go. It's not completely beyond the realms of possibility, but they need to get a goal sometime pretty sharpish to have any hope at all to get back into this tie.
Aymer. That's Martin. Now Dack picking up the pieces after the flick by McDonald. And McGlashan could be in here. It's the moment that Gillingham needed. There may just be a way back for them.
Well, the timing is absolutely perfect. The Gillingham coaching staff will be absolutely delighted that they managed to claw one back at this stage of the game. It's a wonderful ball in from Bradley Dack that just gets in behind Derek Williams in the left area of the defence for Bristol. Great run by McGlashan. It's a wonderful little ball in behind Derek Williams of Bristol City. Lovely placed, and the weight on the pass is fantastic. McGlashan doesn't even need to take a touch, just lift it over the goalkeeper as he comes out.
Well, he may just have picked up an injury. He has done, applying that finish, but we are back to where we started tonight.
As I was saying, it was be a great time to score, and thankfully they went and did that. It's definitely going to give Bristol City food for thought and show them that the tie is absolutely no way over.
Well, he was a match winner against Coventry, a match-winning substitution when he came on. He's been more of an impact player, but starting here tonight, and this was his big moment after a lovely ball from Dack.
The pass there, it's a wonderfully weighted ball from but then as he comes in here, it's brave from McGlashan. It's brave to go in there with the goalkeeper. You see some centre forwards or forward players pull out of those, and Frank Fielding's coming out at full force. But here's the goal, the pass that makes it. Bradley Dack's ball in behind Derek Williams gives McGlashan the chance to finish it first time.
Well, we mentioned that Gillingham have goals in them. They do normally score. They've come here and made their presence felt. Just made it a little bit more uncomfortable for Bristol City. Nailing the man down. McGlashan back on the pitch.
It's good news for Gillingham that he's back on. He's not moving as freely as perhaps he'd want to at the moment, but perhaps the word is it's one that he'll run off. Good initial turnover from that there. It's naughty. From McDonald, I think, slightly turned his back, and I suppose the mitigating circumstances is looking at the ball as it comes away from the challenge, but I think Alien's done him a favour there by not staying on the ground too long.
Yeah, just a stern word for Cody McDonald, nothing more.
See from up here that Luke Alien does not agree with that, which I suppose when you're on the end of studs rake down your shin, you're going to be slightly discomforted by that.
Alien goes okay to continue and takes that free kick, looking for Flint. Marlon Pack. That pass we saw from Bradley Dack, that is why Gillingham have come up with this system. They've played the diamond as well as I mentioned. Dack at the tip of it, because he can produce moments like that to play him close to the strikers.
Absolutely, it's formation's a vehicle for the players to show their attributes and what they're good at, and getting Bradley Dack in that position where he can thread a little ball in behind the defence of Bristol is what the management team of Gillingham will want him to be, and where he'll want him to be on the pitch.
Emmanuel Thomas. There's Williams. Cunningham. Williams continued his run. He's almost found by Freeman. Hoyt alive to it. Cunningham has gone past two Gillingham players with the movement of his body there.
They're definitely not going to sit back and allow Gillingham to get back in even more into this game any easier than they have done so far. They're still going to go forward, Bristol City. They're still going to go on the offensive to try and get as many goals as they can. Try and get themselves out of sight.
Well, Paul Scally lives in Dubai these days. He bought Gillingham for £1 back in 1995 when they were heading for oblivion. Tries to watch every game, whether that's in the flesh or on TV. Currently looking for a new manager, but hoping his team can pull this around. And McGlashan again is trying to force the issue here. There's Pritchard. Now it's Hoyt.
McGlashan had done that much chasing back that when it came to Hoyt heading the ball into the box, he was too busy occupied on the wing. If you look at the way Gillingham is shaping up now, it does look as though they've gone to a 4 with a diamond in front and 2 up top. Definitely an attacking intent with that, and definitely Bradley Dack been able to get on the ball a bit further up the pitch with McDonald and McGlashan further forward.
Yeah, well, the idea of playing that diamond against this Bristol City team is to outnumber them in midfield, and that is what Gillingham are hoping to do. And use the two strikers up top.
You can see how they've come since the goal, including the goal, how the possession swung in Gillingham's favour. You don't know whether that's Bristol City being intent to let them have it in certain areas, or whether it's Gillingham exerting themselves on the game.
And McGlashan has found Dack, who was tracked back all the way by Marlon Pack. No handball against Hoyt. Marlon Pack, Emmanuel Thomas. Looking for Matt Smith, too much on it.
Last few minutes they have started to go not quite as accurately into the front and looking for an area in the box rather than a player.
Bristol City just need to give themselves a shake. The fans are groaning here around Ashton Gates. They started so well for them, but Gillingham are back in this.
And sometimes that anxiety can feed into the players onto the pitch, and they need someone out there to take control, to put the extra pass in, just to perhaps slow the game down and manage it into half-time so they can regroup. Obviously, they've still got quite a hefty lead, but a football match can quickly swing in 45 minutes.
There's Gavin Hoyt. Pritchard. Now it's Dak. Here's Hessenthaler. Pritchard again. Loft. And Flint commanding.
So I think Gillingham needs to put that extra pass in, lofting it into the box against the big lads of Bristol City. He's not going to do them too many favours. They need to look for that one into feet on the edge of the box. Get someone like a Dak on the ball, or as McDonald pulls off.
Well, there's McGlashan. Dak leaves it, and Fielding manages to turn that away to deny Loft.
What a save this is from Frankie Fielding, keeping his team ahead in this game. It's a great little pullback and a lovely little lead from Dak. Loft, the positioning of the ball, the placing of his shot. Great save from Fielding, on his toes, great tip over the bar.
This is a really good spell for Gillingham. Fired in by Loft, who does have a really good goal-scoring record from midfield, Doug Loft.
And if you look at the way they build this chance, Gillingham, they were pumped a ball in earlier, which Aidan Flint mopped up easily, but the intricacies of the movement off the ball, and you see that Dak just leaving this, maybe got a shout from Loft just for him to be able to place it into hopefully the top corner, but Fielding well across and tipping it over. But again, it's building into the game, building into position where they can create a chance instead of looking to loft it into the box, where Bristol City very much have the height advantage.
Too much on that for Freeman from Williams. This is Max Amer. Now McGlashan. Pritchard, it's Loft again. Now Hoyt picks up the pieces. Gillingham on the front foot here. They could easily have caved in after conceding early. Martin. Not the best from Cunningham, helped out by Flint. That's just a sign of Bristol City at the moment. They are on the back foot and wobbling.
Sometimes that straightforward clearance can seem a bit of a hack, in it adds to the anxiety on the pitch and in the stands. All they need is someone to get the foot on the ball, and perhaps with 4 or 5 minutes going into half-time, just loft it into the corners, get Smith and Emmanuel Thomas chasing it down into the corners just to get away from their own box.
He's not sitting too comfortably now, Steve Cotterill. There's Josh Pritchard. Now it's Loft. There's Hoyt. Hoyt, great delivery on that. Cody McDonald unable to make the most of it.
As his ball's coming in, you're looking at McDonald and the late run that he makes, thinking he's never going to make it or get any good contacts on him, but Hoyt finds himself in a good position to be able to put a good cross in, to miss out Flint. He does get a good connection on it in the end, catches Alien by surprise, and you're wondering there, as Tavernier giving him the shout that he's coming across, because Alien looks very surprised that McDonald's managed to come in and get a full forehead on that. Over to an obvious disappointment, because I think he feels that he could have done a lot better.
Well, he's the man who's in form at the moment. Cody McDonald does have this habit of really coming good from December time onwards. McGlashan. Martin ushered forward, away by Flint. Andy Hessenthaler did start the game up in the stand. He likes to take an overview of what's going on and then get on the phone and dish out instructions to the other 3 in the dugout, but Hessenthaler's come down pitch side. No holding back there. Freeman and Hoyt. And the referee shows a yellow card to Luke Freeman.
Initial view of this, it looks like two players going for a full-blooded challenge. Hoyt's obviously not happy with the connection that Freeman's made. You can see absolutely, definitely a booking there, the lunge into him. Because Hoyt's gone so low, but Freeman's gone over the top. One-legged, definitely not a two, it's a trailing leg, but it's that initial, that front foot with the studs going into his shin.
Yellow card for that challenge. Hoyt's still on the ground and in a bit of trouble here.
He looks to have initially got up, and sometimes in these clashes where it gets a bit heated, there's a bit of afters, but good strong challenge there from Hoyt, and she'll put it down to missed timing from Freeman. I don't think anything particularly too malicious, but it's getting that split second earlier and raking his studs down his shin is quite obviously going to get him into the book.
Gavin Hoyt back on the pitch as we head into 2 additional minutes here. We've had 2 goals in the first half, 1 apiece. Bristol City still firmly in charge of this tie, but they've had 1 or 2 things to think about.
Steve Cottrell's got a little job at half-time to make sure his team stay on an even keel and not get too complacent, don't get pegged back. Because in games like this, they can soon turn on you when you're in a position of power, but you're not necessarily going for it. His team knows how to go on the offensive and needs to stick to what it's been good at this season. Don't invite Gillingham on, which is, I'm sure Andy Hessenthaler's come down from the stands to tell his management team that keep them doing what they're doing, keep the lads going forward, and he'll be slightly happier going into half-time, I think.
That's Egan. Pack. Corey Smith. Now it's Aidan Flint. Bristol City looking to see this half out. Rescued there by Pack. And now it's Dack for Gillingham. Holds off Corey Smith. Maybe time for one last chance, maybe. There's Loft. McGlashan. Williams standing his ground.
I'm sure Hoyt will be telling him there that it's just a simple roll back from McGlashan would allow him and set him up for the cross into the box. Definitely perhaps a little ice pack at half-time on the shin from the Freeman challenge. And that he's definitely got away with.
Well, Gillingham could easily have caved in, having fallen behind to an early Matt Smith goal. He inevitably struck against Gillingham again. He won't leave them alone. But Gillingham cleared their heads, regrouped, and levelled on the night thanks to Jermaine McGlashan. Clever finish after a lovely ball by Dack to make it all square on the night. But Bristol City still in charge on aggregate. And right at the end of the first half, big decision there for Graham Scott, opting to book Luke Freeman after a poor challenge on Gavin Hoyt. Half-time, it's Bristol City 1, Gillingham 1.
Yeah, this tie here at Ashton Gate still very much open. We will get the thoughts of the Walsall manager, Dean Smith, after the break. It is 1-1 here, with plenty still to play for. First half analysis coming up for you next. Here at Ashton Gate, it is 1-1. Matt Smith put Bristol City ahead, only for Jermaine McGlashan to keep Gillingham still in this Southern Area final time. So it is 1-1 here. Bristol City have had more of the attempts in this game. There's a contentious yellow card, one we'll discuss shortly with Dean Smith, but little to separate the two when it comes to possession here. Dean Smith, Bristol City certainly got off to a good start, but Gillingham, do you think, came back into this match?
Yeah, definitely. I think Bristol City got the goal, and then after that Gillingham changed the shape slightly and kept the ball a lot better. And because they've kept it so well, Bristol City have been chasing them, and they managed then to get the goal back.
As it was a man that we spoke about before the game started, Matt Smith, that got the first goal for Bristol City. I mean, this is the kind of threat you spoke about, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's always a threat. I think two lads get mixed up between each other, and neither of them get off the ground really. It's a great header, but even better reaction to it. I just think maybe Stuart Nelson and Cody McDonald each expect the other one to go for it, and end up neither going for it, and it ends up in the back of the net.
As it was, Gillingham then came back into it through Jermaine McGlashan's goal in the 32nd minute, and it came from them. I suppose the counter-attack from Bristol City, they won the ball and were able to charge on in, and it was a great ball in the end from Bradley Dack for that service, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, it's the first time Bristol City lost possession, and Corey Smith and Marlon Pack both get dragged out of patrolling in front of the back three. And it's a great little flick from Cody McDonald, and Dack gets space in front of them.
And that commitment from McGlashan there.
Oh yeah, he's very brave. He's quick. He's a good pass, good run, and he just lifts it over the keeper, knowing he's going to get hurt. So it's a really good goal.
And that goal seemed to inspire Gillingham, and they had a chance to make it 2-1 to them had it not been for Frank Fielding in the goal.
They did. Again, they worked a 2v1 on the outside, and it drags one of the three centre-halves out then, and a good over from Bradley Dack. And you know, Doug, he's trying to find the top corner, and the keeper makes a good save.
It's a fantastic save there. Now, we mentioned there when we looked at the match stats, a yellow card being given out to Luke Freeman for a challenge. Should Bristol City be down to 10 men?
I think so. I think he loses the ball and he lunges into the challenge. The lad gets there early. I don't think he means to go in, but by the letter of the law, it's a poor tackle. And for me, it's a red card.
And how much of a game changer would that have been if he
Yeah, it'd be massive. You know, we're down to 10 men, and it changes everything for the game. I think he puts the danger, the safety of the Gillingham player at risk there. And
we're just seeing where the referee, Graham Scott, is perhaps unsighted, do you think, maybe?
Yeah, I think he is, but he should be helped out by his fourth official there, who should have a good view of that.
Yeah, is that what you'd expect from a manager, that the fourth official should get involved?
I think so. I mean, they're all mic'd up, so, you know, he should be saying red down the mic. I mean, he's certainly late, and he's caught him on the shin. It doesn't look very nice looking back at it.
OK, it is 1-1 here at Ashton Gate, but there are plenty of twists and turns, no doubt, still to come in this Johnstones Paint Trophy Southern Area final second leg. Perhaps there's hope for Gillingham. There's live championship football coming your way over the next few days, involving teams hunting promotion. The leaders, Bournemouth, take on Watford Friday night, 7:30 on Sky Sports 1. And then on the same channel, your Saturday lunchtime kickoff comes from Griffin Park for Brentford against Middlesbrough. That's 5th against 3rd, and that's live for you from midday. 1-1 it is here, though, at Ashton Gate. And Dean Smith, the tie certainly isn't over, but what do Gillingham have to do to turn it around?
Well, I think they'll be telling them to do more of the same in the second half. If they start well, get a goal, then it certainly opens up, because they look nervy for the last 20 minutes, Bristol City, and Gillingham had control of the game.
Gillingham are out there already. They certainly are ready to go.
Yeah, they are. They know what's at the end of it, and they can give it. They know they've got 45 minutes where they can give it their all, and if it's not to be, they can know that they're giving it.
OK, let's hand you back to your commentators. It's David Prutton and Gary Weaver.
Yes, thanks, Natalie. Matt Smith striking again against Gillingham, but Gillingham responded. Bristol City racing out of the tunnel at the start of the second half like they mean business. What was interesting before the game was that Bristol City always sprint out of the tunnel here at Ashton Gate before the match. And Gillingham did the same here this evening, just to match up, ruffle a few feathers.
Surely a coincidence and nothing more.
It's a sign of meaning business.
It's a sign that they've warmed up before they've come out.
This club is 45 minutes away from reaching Wembley. They started well enough, but then Gillingham found their rhythm. Thanks to a goal from Jermaine McGlashan. Gillingham have a little bit of hope, but still plenty to do.
I think it'll be a gentle reminder, maybe slightly more than a gentle reminder from Steve Cotterill that the game is by no means won, and it's how you manage the second half, not inviting any pressure on or undue pressure on, and stick to what they're good at, which is going forward and being solid in defence.
Well, barely a few weeks go by without these two teams seeing each other. This is the 4th time they've crossed each other's paths this season, and there is still one more meeting to go. They will be sick of the sight of each other come the end of the season. It's the 4th time they've met in the last 82 days, so they know each other really well. Bristol City have won the previous 3, but Gillingham on the front foot here. McDonald has found McGlashan. Gillingham looking to start the second half like they ended the first. On top here and causing problems for the home team.
They did from about 20 minutes onwards. They really got back into the game and really got forward back into this Bristol City team.
Andy Hessenthaler, one of the 4 caretakers in charge here. Just checking the score is 1-1. It's interesting to know that they've all got equal power, equal say. Been a few debates into the night over team and system, but they are standing as one.
It's absolutely the only way that they can go about it. They need to present a united front to the players so that everyone knows what's going on and how to move forward. As simple as possible to get your message across, and it gets ingested and used and put into good practice from the players.
Darren Hare, also part of this management team, who is the academy manager, and he says he can't wait to get back to his day job.
Yeah, between the 4 of them, they are covering the whole kind of group of players from the 18s onwards, which shows that they know if they need to put a young player in, they know who to put in, and they also know who's playing when and where.
There's Ayling. Now Freeman, who may be lucky to still be on the pitch after that challenge late in the first half, and it was a lunge into Gavin Hoyt. The referee saw it as a yellow.
It was, and it was the kind of challenge that the more you look at it, it seems to be the worse it gets. I think we legislated for the referee's position, and it might be slightly blocked, but that's what his assistants are there for.
Here's Cody McDonald. The next goal is key in this tie. Now it's Martin. Bit of a misunderstanding between he and Hessenthaler. Both sons of professional footballers. Joe Martin, the son of Alvin.
And Jake's dad in slightly closer proximity, about 15 yards at this moment in time.
Ayling. Emmanuel Thomas. There's Molenpack. With Tavernier. We'll have a second bite of it. Ayling again, losing out though to Cody McDonald. Dax to his right, he goes to his left with McGlashan, who's onside. McGlashan! Fielding comes up with the answer again for Bristol City. But this tie is not over.
You can see where McGlashan really wanted to place that ball. Tried to start it as far outside of the far post as possible to bend it back round. Great save for fielding. Again, it shows the attacking intent of Gillingham, that on the turnover, McDonald getting into space. Bradley Dack getting into space and McGlashan getting forward. Bristol City got to be careful. They can't rest too much on the laurels here. Ayling just misjudges the bounce of the ball, and as soon as McDonald's got that space, he's off. He's got Dack to his right, but chooses a great pass to McGlashan. Just the right height for Fielding to get two good, strong hands on it, but you can see what he's trying to do, trying to start it as far out as possible to bend back into that far post.
Frankie Fielding showing the kind of form, which is why he was called into the England squad 5 years ago. Fabio Capello. Steve Cotterill says his confidence was on the floor when he first walked through the door here, the Bristol City manager. This is Martin, and that is much more comfortable for Fielding. Emmanuel Thomas, who was excellent in the opening 20 minutes here. This is Ayling. Perfect ball to J. Emmanuel Thomas, perfect control as well.
Wonderfully driven pass from Frank Fielding there. Steve Cotterill's got his goalkeeper doing that. It adds to the forward thinking play of Bristol City, and you can use it as the kind of quarterback role where he can pick people out. He gets them forward and into Gillingham quicker.
Tavernier. There's Ayling. J. Emmanuel Thomas. Now it's Loft. John Egan, comfortable on the ball and carrying the ball out of the back four. There's McGlashan. Gillingham looking a threat again here. McGlashan driven in. Aidan Flint getting to it for Bristol City.
Bradley Dack again there, trying to make up the numbers in the box.
That's Egan going for goal from a long way out, but we've seen before he's more than capable of scoring from long range. That was ambitious, though.
Kind of areas that Emmanuel Thomas is picking the ball up now, wider and deeper, whereas at the start of the first half he was getting much further up the pitch, much more centrally.
Well, a free kick to Gillingham, but Bristol City are complaining because they thought Cody McDonald impeded Corey Smith when he was coming back from an offside position, so he interfered with play. It was Loft who was making life awkward for Smith, but McDonald was there as well, and the ball bounced towards them. Well, that's the point that Corey Smith is arguing. Yellow card has been shown to Ayling.
As soon as the arm comes out, it is a booking pulling him back, and it's... I think he did a very good job of acting in a way that he was not sure that he was meant to be there, or not part of it, or not intending to cause any trouble to Bristol City, but Ayling does pull McGlashan back in the end.
Loft and Hessenthaler standing over this for Gillingham. Egan at the far post. They've rolled it short to Pritchard. Fielding was diving full length across his goal, but happy to see the ball fly wide.
Well worked from Gillingham. I thought maybe it takes a bit off this initial pass to the edge of the box, then it allows it to be hit first time. Do well to beat Frankie Fielding from there.
Those Gillingham fans have come here more in hope than expectation, but McGlashan's done really well until that moment there. He worked the opportunity superbly.
You can see the disappointment, and I think that's more to do with the fact that he realises what a great position McDonald's in here. It's a great initial bit of skill to get past Flint, but as it moves along, it snatches at it far too early, and McDonald's in absolutely acres of space there. You can tell he's confident in what he's doing and going forward, but again, a long way out to take the Bristol City goalkeeper by surprise.
Once again, we're seeing signs that Gillingham are a team who are getting it together. Paul Scally wanted a bit more attacking football, more entertainment, and the management team are trying to provide that.
Does seem to be more and more within the remits of coaching staff and management teams that it's not just about winning, it's about winning in the kind of right type of manner. And if you are going through spells where you're not particularly winning too many games, if you're going to entertain the fans and keep on side, then you've got half a chance.
There's Cunningham, and that's a big block, a really important block as Smith was closing in. Martin went in with him. And Matt Smith in some trouble here.
There's a great build-up play again. Emmanuel Thomas getting the ball down, releasing Cunningham, and you can see where Matt Smith wants it, he's pointing. Great defending to get back from Cunningham there, to get back across Matt Smith, to get a foot in front of him, to toe put the ball behind.
It's a great challenge from Joe Martin. Smith colliding with the post, which has left him down and in need of treatment.
The ball across from Cunningham, and you can see where Matt Smith's pointing. He wants it in front of him. Joe Martin does get back to retrieve the situation for Gillingham.
Well, it's been such a good signing by Steve Cotterill, who again has shown his talent for signing a player.
Will be concern here for him, because it's one of those, he's committed to winning the ball, but Joe Martin's come across and managed to snuff out the danger, but Matt Smith there to try and get the ball into the back of the net as it gets put into the right position by Cunningham. Brave play all round.
And he's the man who put Bristol City in front here, but as we've already mentioned, he can't play at Wembley if they get to the final, because his loan will be over and Steve Cotterill can't go in and get him again because of the rules.
Got to stick to the rules. I think it has been mutually beneficial. He has come here and he has found a vein of goal-scoring form and good level of fitness and conditioning, which Steve Cotterill's staff have got him into. I think perhaps he'll be looking that maybe when the loan does finish, that he wants to go and make inroads in at Fulham, give himself as big a chance as possible, but playing the way he's playing at the moment is a handful for anybody.
Well, a decision about to be made as to whether Matt Smith can continue. He went in bravely, so too did Joe Martin. One thing's for sure, he won't be involved in this set piece. Flint, Williams and Ayling, the back three, are all ready to attack this. Flint towards Ayling. There's Cunningham. Now it's Freeman. Okay, Martin sticking to his guns.
It's good defending there for Martin to stand up and keep an eye on the ball, not necessarily Freeman's feet, as he looks to manipulate to get round him.
Bristol City have made one set piece count. Smith back on the pitch. He's back in the box. And it's Flint who rises just behind him. Now it's Dack. This trophy has meant a lot to Bristol City in the past. They won it over the border in Cardiff in 2003. Also won it back in 1986 as well, a win which left their manager Terry Cooper in tears on the pitch. He'd achieved so much in the game, but winning this for the club had him in tears on the Wembley pitch after that particular afternoon. They're one of 8 clubs to have won this particular competition twice.
It's a testament the way they've gone about it this season to how seriously Steve Cotterill's taken the competition, and he knows full well that a good team playing well breeds confidence and momentum, and the more games you can get these good performances in, the better stead it stands you in for the rest of the season.
Ayling, heavy touch, he invited the challenge from Aimer. An hour played, and Gillingham still with 2 goals to make up here. Referee waving play on and now brings it back.
The referee may have run a split second too early there. The advantage was still being played, it looked like. See that coming across, fouling. But again, as it unfolded, I think they'll take the free kick and look to Freeman with his left foot to put it in the kind of right areas for Smith, for Flint, for Emmanuel Thomas even.
Well, they have at times been quite inventive with their free kicks this season, Bristol City. This one straight forward into the box. Smith with the header. There's Williams. Now Freeman. Freeman's done really well. And Aimer attacks it for Gillingham. You can sense the panic every time Bristol City send those crosses in, particularly when Flint is joined by Smith. There's Tavernier. Emmanuel Thomas, what's up his sleeve here? The challenge by Aimer.
We've said about the intricacies sometimes of set pieces, but put it in the right area to Smith, as he's got definitely a handful of shirt in Joe Martin's hand. That's where the referee's got to be looking at the linesman to help him out.
Tavernier opened up for a second for him. Nelson with a decision to come, and he almost paid the price as Smith heads wide.
And it's so close to Smith, the tormentor-in-chief for Gillingham. It's a great little stand-up ball from Tavernier here. He cuts back across, and in this type of area, that's all he needs to do is stand it up. You don't need to whip it, just stand it up and put it in a good area, which invites Stuart Nelson out. Thinks he can make it. Someone as towering as Smith, you've got to be 100% sure when you come out for that ball.
Pritchard. Loft. There's Hoyt. Now it's Loft. He's trying to pick out Hessenthaler. Hessenthaler getting in behind, but the ball goes behind.
It shows that they're committed to getting forward, the need to. Goal sooner rather than later might set them up for a bit of a grandstand finish, but I think he left it a bit too long there, Hessenthaler, to try and whip the ball back.
Well, Bristol City are backed by a billionaire, Steve Lansdown. Likes to try and keep a low profile. Doesn't spend for spending's sake. He spends his cash wisely. He almost suffered back-to-back relegations. The plan is eventually Premier League, but without throwing all of his money at it. He's been hugely important for this club and for this city as well. And his reward may be Wembley. Emmanuel Thomas looking for Freeman, just forced a little wide. In by Tavernier. That's Cunningham! And that was inches away.
It's another wonderful ball in by Tavernier here. A bit more pace than it this time, instead of just dinking it up like he did for the last one for Smith. You've got Cunningham here in absolutely acres. Manages to pick him out. As Cunningham has a long time to look at this. You think he needs to do better to get it on target. See the little look to Tavernier just before he puts it in. Ooh. Tell you what a wonderful save from Stuart Nelson. The only angle there that you can see him getting a fingertip. Hence the reason that the referees missed that, but Stuart Nelson's done great there to keep Cunningham out.
Well, the Bristol City players were protesting. They saw that touch from Nelson. That's a wonderful stop.
Cunningham a slight disservice there, saying he needs to get it on target, but that was going in the bottom corner, and Nelson's managed to fingertip it out.
Bradley Dack, the pocket of space, but unable to link up with McDonald.
Got to get the shout there. Dack, he looks like he's played that blind, and if you're playing up front with somebody, maybe you get a bit closer, a bit of communication around the corner, over. You need to be able to know that your partner's there to flick the ball blind.
Martin. There's Pritchard. Looking for Hoyt, finding Hoyt. This is Loft. Gavin Hoyt again. There's Bradley Dack. Now McGlashan. They want to control that. There's Martin. Dack was up, but it's easy for Fielding.
He's always stretching there, Dack, to get any sort of power and direction on this. Does well to get it towards the goal, but it's just a bit too high for him to get any real directional power on it.
Bristol City are about to bring on the experience of Wade Elliott. Into the final quarter, Gillingham still need 2 goals here, but they are still well in this. They could have been back on the bus after the opening 18 minutes when Matt Smith put Bristol City in front on the night and further in front on aggregate. But this Gillingham team has dug in.
They have, and their energy levels haven't dropped. They're still going. They're still believing. The gang of 4 on the touchline will make sure they believe to the last minute.
There's the change then, Wade Elliott, who had probably the defining moment of his career at Wembley with a wonderful playoff winner for Burnley to get them into the Premier League. He comes on as he looks to try and add his experience to this young team. And off goes Tavernier.
That's what we'll be looking for. I want not only Wade Elliott's footballing ability, but his communication skills on the pitch to make sure everyone stays in the game and manages the game correctly and gets his team through.
Well, they've mainly been a back 3 team, Bristol City, under Steve Cotterill, but he does have the players to change system. Tavernier, the right wing back going off, Elliott coming on.
It's a big plus point for Steve Cotterill that is a position in his career and at a club where he's got the kind of plethora of players to be able to pick and choose who he wants and get the exact players that he wants, that he can play in the formations that he might need to play in certain games. It's something that comes to, I'm sure, experience and managing at several clubs, but appreciating when you are in a place where you are getting the things that you're asking for, which I'm sure in modern football is not as easy as it sounds.
Probably the easiest decision of the night for the referee as Cunningham went to ground under the challenge of Hoyt.
quite feigning innocence, as is his right there, but it's definitely a free kick. Freeman again, lovely little ball, slipped through.
Booking for Hoyt, the Bristol City fans singing about Wembley. It's getting closer. And they may well have ridden that Gillingham storm which came their way.
They were really right back in it, Gillingham, and getting men forward with energy and a real verve to go and get the next goal. But there is that quality and depth in Bristol City, and Steve Cottrell hoping that he's got the right experience and combination on the pitch to manage the game through.
Freeman and Pack are over this. Flint has jogged now to the far side of the penalty area. He's the target. Went from one side of the box to the other.
And it's another good delivery from Freeman. He's such an immense presence, Aidan Flint, on that back post. I think there's just enough done to put him off, to take his eye off the ball. Eamon there just getting in front of him.
Saw them score a wonderfully worked free kick here against Oldham this season. Bristol City. The ball was cunningly flicked around the wall and finished off by Kieran Agard. Steve Cottrell says he has plenty more up his sleeve. McGlashan running into Smith.
Smith's made up so much ground there to get back to snuff out McGlashan. You can see that it's a real focal point for the tempo in this team, Smith. Defensively sitting in front of that three. Well on Pat, but getting back there, and McGlashan's no slouch. Matching him stride for stride to win the ball back for his team.
Hessenthaler. Now McGlashan. Martin wrapping his foot around the ball, just too much on it for Dak.
Unfortunately, because Dak was the lone man in within the width of the goal there. Needed some support in the box. But feel that Gillingham will want Bradley that to be on the ball further up the pitch, not in his own half, looking to play balls to his centre halves, but getting further forward into the back three of Bristol City.
There's McGlashan again, looking to cause problems for Bristol City. Dak was crashing in. Loft screaming that the ball didn't come his way as he was waiting outside the box.
He's been the main kind of perpetrator for Gillingham of what they want to do. If he wants to unlock the defence, and he's gone through a fair bit of mileage getting up and down, but as I said, I'm sure Gillingham will want him further up the pitch in areas where he can really hurt Bristol City, not picking the ball up off his central defenders.
Joe Martin, who's just back from injury, in need of attention here. Has had a calf problem. Well, one of the biggest games that Andy Hessenthaler's ever been involved in was against Manchester City, the 99 playoff defeat for Gillingham. And Manchester City in action against Chelsea. A huge game at Stamford Bridge. Saturday Night Football, 4:45, Sky Sports 1. It could well define the title race.
Absolutely ginormous game.
Looks like Martin's game is coming to an end. It's Brennan Dickinson who's about to come on for Gillingham, who is an attacker. Disappointing for Joe Martin, he's only just back from injury.
Sometimes that's the not the weakness, but it's the when you do get back into the team after a lengthy layoff, because your body's not used to the rigours of playing all the games, it is susceptible to other injuries, and obviously with it being a contact sport, you're always at the mercy of those anyway. So yeah, doubly galling for him that he's got back in and done well tonight, but ended up hobbling off.
Here is Brennan Dickinson. Does like to play through the middle, but has been playing wide left. Looks like he's slotted into the left-back position here for Gillingham. As we head towards the final 15 minutes, Gillingham need 2 goals to send this into a penalty shootout. I nearly said extra time. No extra time in a Johnstones Paint Trophy.
Of course, you knew that, of course.
Elliott. Freeman left grounded. Elliott picks up. There's Wade Elliott again. Smith. Long by Aidan Flint. There's Corey Smith again. He has played a big part in Bristol City's run in this Johnstones Paint Trophy. Scored a double against Cheltenham back in October, the second of which was an absolute beauty.
But again, tonight covered so much ground, getting forward and getting back, helping his back three to snuff out any potential danger from Gillingham. They are at the moment managing the game well. It's just seeing out this last 15 minutes or so.
Ayling. J. Emmanuel Thomas saw the run of Freeman, couldn't quite deliver the pass. And Cody MacDonald is chasing after this. The second goal in the first leg against Bristol City was a long ball over the top, which he ran onto in similar fashion, and he buried it. Now J. Emmanuel Thomas away from Dickinson. Emmanuel Thomas, he is more than capable of delivering from that kind of range, but unable to on that occasion.
There have been some way to seal the victory. I presume if that goal had gone in, that would have been it for Gillingham. See Dickinson here, he kind of dangles his leg, and Emmanuel Thomas easily powers past him. Does well to let fly from there, and unfortunately doesn't manage to get over it as much as he should do to get the ball on target. As soon as he's in that position, he's never going to pass it. He's always going to try and take the shot on, but blazed it over.
Pack, Freeman. Dickinson almost ricocheted through to Smith. J. Emmanuel Thomas. Thomas! A blistering drive!
When he's in the mood, he's an absolute pleasure to watch. And mainly on his left foot tonight. A slight hint of handball there, but then makes a chance for himself there. Swings his right at it. Minimal backlift, just great power on it as well. But I think the goalkeeper's got it covered at the near post, but it's hit with that much force. If that's it on target, I think that's a goal.
He's burst into life again, J. Emmanuel Thomas. You know, there were concerns around this place when Aaron Wilbraham and Kieran Agart picked up injuries at the back end of the year. But J. Emmanuel Thomas and Matt Smith have formed a potent partnership.
That's how it happens in football. Opportunities present themselves, and it's up to the players to take them. And as much as J. Emmanuel Thomas has been in and out of this game, he's had real moments of quality and been a real thorn in Gillingham's side.
J. Emmanuel Thomas again to try his luck once more. His luck was out that time. I think that's no nonsense from Dickinson.
It is, it's a safety, shall we say.
Yellow card shown to John Egan.
I think Freeman made too much of that, possibly thinking about his challenge in the first half, so definitely a booking. don't think running into this last 10 minutes that depending how it unfolds and whether Gillingham do get another goal, it's not the end of the world if the score stays the same. I think the league is very much a priority for them.
Here's Wade Elliott.
Of course, any trip to Wembley is a bonus, but given the current league position, they'll be wanting to cement themselves and look to build to the end of the season into next season.
Yeah, Bristol City second in League One behind Swindon on goal difference. We have MK Dons breathing down their neck as well. Then Preston North End have just fallen away slightly of late. But the big goal here is to get back into the Championship. This club has seen some dark days in the last couple of years, being bottom of League One Christmas last year. But here they are on the verge of a trip to Wembley.
It does show their intent. We're going to build with a new stadium and kind of forward thinking they're implementing around here. Is late from Wade Elliott there. Wry smile to show that he knew he wouldn't get away with it.
Can Gillingham flex their muscle again here and make it awkward for Bristol City in the final 8 minutes? Hessenthaler's delivery, Egan tries to meet it. Stuart Nelson, who had a problem or two with a back pass against Oldham at the weekend, which led to an Oldham goal. That's Dack. Gillingham are about to bring on Luke Norris, the striker, to try and give themselves some more hope. And off goes Jermaine McGlashan, whose goal levelled matters in the first half.
Yeah, did well, McGlashan. He was very much troublesome for Bristol City in certain parts of the game and took his goal very, very well. A brave little dink over Frankie Fielding from a great ball from Bradley Dack.
Well, all 4 of his goals for Gillingham this season have been away from home. Luke Norris scored a stunner against Sheffield United earlier this season on the top corner. And Gillingham needs something special here to stop something special happening to Bristol City.
They do, and it's getting, well, it is, and beyond kitchen sink time, so they've got to really go for it.
There's Hoyt. Now it's Pack. Bristol City have been to the new Wembley once before. Today they want to airbrush out of their history the Championship playoff final defeat. Dean Windass launching a rocket of a goal for Hull City. That's how close Bristol City came to Premier League football.
Those unbelievably fine margins of the fortunes of a football club of where they could be or should be or could possibly end up. But one thing's for sure, if this ends up with Bristol City going into the final, there'll be no over-elaborate celebrations. Steve Cotterill will want his team to remain composed and know that they've not won anything yet.
J. Emmanuel Thomas can create something out of nothing.
He does, and this is very literally something out of nothing, because he looks like he's away from goal and nothing much on. The initial block is good from Hoyt that gets him out of the way, but again onto that left foot of his, that wonderful left foot of his to fire it across goal.
Well, Matt Smith may just be passing through here, but they will never forget him here. The on-loan striker scoring against Gillingham again. Gillingham will be glad to see the back of him. They've seen his back most times they played him. And Kieran Agard comes on.
A bad swap, but Matt Smith has been great tonight. He's been a real focal point for the way they played Bristol City. Not just in the air, but on the deck as well.
And that just shows you the strength of this Bristol City squad. Matt Smith off, Kieran Agard on. Foul by Egan, who just needs to be careful, having been booked a few moments ago. There's Corey Smith. Bristol City fans singing 5-3 to Matty Smith, and that's the way of it. He scored all 5 of these goals in this tie over the 2 legs, all 5 of Bristol City's goals. Elliott, there's Emmanuel Thomas. Dickinson back on the pitch to make life awkward for Emmanuel Thomas. Too awkward as far as the referee was concerned.
Just frustration there from Dickinson. He's overrun it and got back on the pitch to help his team out when he's left a hole. Great strength from Emmanuel Thomas just to hold him off.
Gillingham are bringing on Bradley Gormston, who's on loan for West Bromwich Albion, and he replaces Doug Loft. Here's quick Gormston, a left back.
Great chance for Loft in the first half, with Fielding equal to it with a wonderful save. You never know where that might have tipped the game.
There's Kieran Agard, losing out to Aymer. Cody McDonald. He may still get to that McDonald. Fielding made sure he didn't. And found Ayling. The referee has pulled it back, indicating handball.
Looked to be a Ayling's shoulder here as he brought it down.
And a goal now for Gillingham. Puts everything in the balance with a few moments of normal time to play, plus additional time. Norris waiting to make his move. Swung in by Hessenthaler, met by Cunningham, and that's Dack. And that's Williams for a Gillingham corner.
Good ball in initially from Hessenthaler there. Good area. Cleared as far as Bristol City would have wanted, and Dack really not getting hold of the volley. Forcing a corner nonetheless.
John Egan trying to lose Emmanuel Thomas inside the box. It goes short from Gillingham. Now the cross comes in. They were trying to play it into the area where Egan was, but there was too much on it.
McDonald's there fuming to overhit the cross like that at such a pivotal time.
Well, time for you, David, to name your man of the match. There he is.
Absolutely, I think he's been a real focal point and a hub for all the good things that Bristol City have done. Great energy, getting up and down the pitch. Slightly lucky to be on the pitch after looking at the challenge several times on Hoyt, but he's along with someone like Corey Smith, who's covered a lot of ground, and Emmanuel Thomas, who's played well in fits and starts and showed some real quality. I think Luke Freeman has done a wonderful night's work. He pushed his team towards this final.
Yeah, the curse of David Putten's man of the match, named and then gets the hook. Off goes Freeman, and on comes Scott Wagstaff, who comes from not too far away from Gillingham, has plenty of friends who are Gillingham fans, but his Bristol City team are about to disappoint them tonight.
You're not too bothered getting the hook with 1 minute to go. It's when it's 20 minutes have gone that you're a little bit nonplussed.
Yeah, but a reminder, he was lucky to stay on the pitch after the challenge in the first half. Luke Freeman on Gavin Hoyt.
That's not to say The main reason I gave him it was because of the hefty challenge, but it's no, he's great energy and great quality from his left foot. Deliberate set pieces has been fantastic.
Wade Elliott, Corey Smith, big hand that from Stuart Nelson, but the flag was up.
He did seem to be in a lot of space here, Corey Smith, that there is that initial doubt that he is onside. Half a foot in it, if anything. You can see right across that back line for Gillingham, and very close call.
Plenty of additional time, 6 minutes. As it stands, Ashton Gate will party in 6 minutes' time.
As mentioned earlier, there will be a respect and class shown, hopefully, by Steve Cotterill. He would have got that point across to his players that it's very much a case of winning a semi and getting into a final, not winning a cup yet. So he'll be looking to get his team off the pitch and back out, probably to enjoy it a little bit, but they're moving very, very swiftly on to the next game.
The man from the West Country is about to take the West Country's big hitters to Wembley. They've had some tough times here in the last couple of years, but they are heading for Wembley way.
Yeah, and it's a testament again to the vision of the club moving forward. Days like finals at Wembley will endear themselves to the supporters, and they're looking to move into a 27,000-seater stadium. They need to fill it, make the numbers, really bond with the community, and getting to Wembley and having big days out for the club can only endear them to the fans.
Well, he has put plenty of money into this club, plenty of money into sport in Bristol in general, Steve Lansdowne, the Bristol City owner. But as I say, he spends wisely. He doesn't throw his money at it. And the plan eventually is to turn this stadium into a 27,000 capacity all-seater stand. That work is underway, stadium I should say. And also to get this club into the Premier League. They were so close 7 years ago.
You'll see those fine margins as encouraging signs that dreams like that can come true, and with the right level of influx of money and spent wisely, as you say, Gary, it's a way of getting to there, but getting to there sensibly and staying there.
There's Dickinson. He's managed to throw Wagstaff out of the way, and then did the same to Cunningham. Too much strength, too much aggression. Let's not forget that Gillingham, at the moment, heading towards a draw here at Ashton Gate, which is a good result, but not enough in terms of the tie.
No, not in terms of the tie, but looking forward with the confidence that a good performance brings, and the management team at Gillingham will be looking towards the next game and how they can get better results in the league to get themselves up the league, better league positions. I believe that they're leaving here, and there's not a couple of days of team bonding, but the next game's in the Midlands, so they're staying together, plenty of time to spend with each other, and kind of really stoke those relationships and within the team.
There's Gormston. There's Corey Smith again. A lot of what he does go under the radar, but he has stood out here tonight alongside Freeman for Bristol City.
It's been fantastic, Corey Smith. Run Freeman very close. He's covered every inch of grass on this pitch.
This is J. Emmanuel Thomas. Emmanuel Thomas! And Nelson pulls the ball in before Agor could get to it.
He's a wonderful talent, Emmanuel Thomas, when he's in the mood and ready to go. Great feet, wonderful left foot to be able to get his shots off.
Pritchard. Dickinson. There's Wade Elliott. Now it's Ayling, who had a season of relegation last time around. He, like Bristol City here, seen a dramatic turnaround in fortunes a year on. Ayling signed from Yeovil in the summer.
Good, solid, consistent performer for Bristol City, as was for Yeovil. He's got great athletic ability to get up and down the pitch. He's going to be slightly more disciplined in this three, allowing his wing back to get on. He's acquitted himself well tonight.
There's Bradley Dack. Almost there. These Bristol City players are creating something special at this club, and now they will get the chance to leave their footprint on football's most famous pitch, Wembley. The red half of this city will descend on Wembley Way in March, a day when dreams can come true. Matt Smith, who won't be part of the squad that day because he will be back at his parent club, scored all 5 goals during this two-legged tie for Bristol City. Phenomenal. He stepped up again tonight. McGlashan equalised for Gillingham, gave them a bit of hope. But for Gillingham, the dream is over. For Steve Cotterill, he will be walking his team out at Wembley in March. It's finished on the night. Bristol City 1, Gillingham 1 on aggregate. Bristol City go to Wembley 5-3.
Yeah, so the players there enjoying this moment, many of them perhaps making that first trip to Wembley. And of course, they will face Walsall in the Johnstones Paint Trophy final. And you'll be able to see who wins it live from 3:15. It's on Sunday, March the 22nd on Sky Sports 3. But if you want more live football right now, there's quarter-final action of the Copa del Rey with Athletic Bilbao against Malaga, live on Sky Sports 5, or alternatively via the red button on the same channel, you can see Sevilla versus Espanyol. OK, we are going to get plenty of reaction to Bristol City's victory. We'll hear from Dean Smith. It certainly was a tighter second leg with it finishing 1-1, but it is Bristol City who are heading to Wembley. Reaction and analysis to come. Bristol City are through to Wembley. They scored first through Matt Smith in the first half, only for Jermaine McGlashan to level it up. And Bristol City were able to hold on to secure their place in the final to keep Steve Cotterill happy. And man of the match Luke Freeman and Matt Smith are with David Craig.
Luke, Matt, many congratulations. Luke, what does this mean to everybody at Bristol City?
Oh, it's massive, you know. It's showing that we're going places and we're trying to, you know. So it's a first experience for me, which I'm over the moon with, and I think the team is as well.
How much do you owe to the big man alongside you?
Yeah, massively. He's been my partner in crime the last couple of months. He's been brilliant since he's come on loan to us, and yeah, we're grateful to have him.
Matt, is this a bit of a strange moment for you to score 5 goals in a tie, see a team through to Wembley and know you're not going to play?
A little bit. No, you know, obviously I knew the situation in the terms of the loan before, you know, long ago, so not so much last minute disappointment, but you know, I'm buzzing for the lads to get to Wembley, and I'll be in the stands cheering them on.
Is this one of the best moments of your career that you can remember, getting 5 goals in a tie?
Yeah, certainly. You know, I'm in a rich vein of form in front of goal, which is great. You know, every striker wants that to breed more and more confidence. So I'm just grateful to, you know, the likes of Frears, Jay, all the boys around me giving me that supply line, and, you know, makes my job a lot easier.
Luke, just finally, do you have to park this up now and concentrate on the job in hand to get promoted?
Yeah, definitely. We just got to take it step by step. That's we're now at Wembley. We need to concentrate on the league.
Luke, you are the Johnstones Paint man of the match. Matt, will you do the honours?
Cheers, big man. Cheers. Thank you. Right. Cheers.
So Bristol City are through to Wembley, where they'll face Dean Smith's Walsall. Did they deserve victory?
I think they've done enough to get over the line. It helps when you've got that 2-goal advantage similar to us against Preston, and they got over the line tonight. That's what they had to do. Let's
run you through what happened in this game. And it was Matt Smith, the hero from the first leg, that put Bristol City ahead in this game. What did you make of that goal, and especially Luke Freeman's delivery as well?
Yeah, good delivery, and he's got that, and a good head. He reacts really well from the first one, quicker than everybody else, and gets a good head on it.
Delighted to say that Steve Cotterill has joined us here in the studio. We have to obviously speak about Matt Smith and how fantastic he's done for you.
I didn't think he played very well tonight. In fact, I don't think we played very well tonight, but he certainly played better than that, like we have. So we're a little bit disappointed with our performance, but I mean, a lot's been done. You know, when you play a team 4 times already this season, somewhere along the line they're going to get a little bit annoyed and a bit angry, aren't they? So if there was any game that we didn't have to win, it was probably tonight because of what had been done in the first leg. So it's fantastic for us all, as for Dean as well at Walsall. It'll be a great day, and it'll be a good game of football.
Of course, you will be missing Matt Smith in the final. You've spoken about it being perhaps not your best performance, but with regards to Matt Smith, just tell us what he's brought to your side.
He's a gentleman, very intelligent boy, built like an oak tree, fantastic in the air. Came to us sort of a little bit unfit, match fit, but he'll be with us for another month, and then he goes back and he'll go back with our blessing. He's been a real top lad, he really has, and I hope that he goes back and he gets in Fulham's team. And all credit to him, he's a real gentleman.
You expected, you said in your pre-match interview, that Gillingham would come here and cause you some issues.
Yeah.
And they got a goal through Jermaine McGlashan. What did you make of that?
Good finish by him, poor defending by us. At the end of the day, you know, we shouldn't get split with a ball like that. And I have to say it was a fantastic pass, mine. And I thought they played well tonight, Gillingham. They had a good spirit about them and played some really good football. But thankfully, we done the job in the first leg.
For McGlashan, we spoke about his commitment, Dean. There was certainly bravery in this goal for him.
Yeah, there was. It was a great finish. He knew he was going to take a hit. I thought it was the first time that Pack and Smith had been taken out of that position just in front.
It was. I mean, it's difficult when you know when if you're playing 3 and someone plays with a diamond.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to counteract that. I thought tonight we looked a little bit tired. I think Sunday took more out of us than we will believe, and. You know, with the emotions in it, and it was a real high-pressure game at the weekend. We just didn't look quite sharp tonight, but we'll get that back.
You say that, but of course Frank Fielding was inspired, pulled off some great saves in this game. Let's first of all speak about the Doug Loft chance in the first half.
Well, I mean, Frank's in there to make a save anyway, so, you know, he's got to make sure he does that. There's plenty of games this season where he's been redundant, and ended up getting a clean sheet. But Frankie's been brilliant from the time I come in. I'm really, really pleased for him. He wasn't in the team when I came in. He'd had a bit of a tough time, but he's been absolutely magnificent. These saves here, he will make all day anyway. I know they are good saves. They look a little bit spectacular. We're looking at them now, and it's great for him. But he'll make these saves all day long anyway. He's a top keeper. I'm delighted that he's back in the team and doing well. He's the most giving lad in our dressing room. So everything he gets in his football life, he deserves.
Man of the match was Luke Freeman. It was a player that you also picked out, Dean. Why is he so special?
I think he plays off the front too, and he's a ball carrier, and he can see a pass as well. He's got great delivery from set pieces, and he seems to be getting better and better without the ball as well. He picks up great little positions. And picks up a lot of knockdowns.
Yeah, when we first brought him in, we knew that he could play a 10 role. It's whether he could play an 8 role. Because if you say to him he's a number 10 all the time, then he's going to stay there and he's going to get lazy. Yeah. But his fitness is great, fantastic boy, like they all are in the dressing room. They're really young, they're vibrant, and I'm delighted for them. There's a lot of them that are going to go to Wembley now, and it's really great for them. I mean, to see them in the dressing room, how pleased they are. It'd be great. I mean, you would have saw it the other night when you got back in the dressing room with your boys.
Yeah, no.
It's fantastic for them.
A very quick line for both of you. 7 weeks, though, until that final. How are you going to manage the expectations, both of you?
Well, you have to. I mean, I've come here tonight, you know, to see who the finalists are going to be, but our concerns are on Gillingham on Sunday because, you know, we've got a busy league campaign like Bristol City, and it's important that we get straight down to that.
Ditto. I was just going to say, we've probably got a million games in 7 weeks anyway, so, you know, we've got enough on our plate anyway. Thankfully now, and congratulations to Dean and Walsall as well, because, you know, it takes a lot to get through all the rounds, doesn't it? Does. And then try and focus on your league form as well. So
yeah, well, congratulations to you both. Good luck for that final, but also in the games to come. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you.
The Johnstones Paint Trophy final between Walsall and Bristol City is live for you, 3:15 on Sky Sports 3, Sunday, March the 22nd. Bumper weekend of football action in the Championship. We've got Bournemouth-Watford Friday night, 7:30, Sky Sports 1 on the same channel. Brentford against Middlesbrough Saturday, the live lunchtime kickoff from midday. And the Saturday night football sees Thierry Henry in the studio for Chelsea against Manchester City. It's 4:45 coverage-wise. Then Super Sunday, we're at the Emirates for Arsenal against Aston Villa, starting at 12:30, followed by Southampton against Swansea. Bristol City are going to Wembley to face Walsall in the final of the Johnstones Paint Trophy.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live on all screens, on the go,